thank you very much for joining us today, and Happy New Year. Aren't you excited about 2020, Ken?
Yes.
My co-host since many years,
Yes.
for many, many years.
A new decade.
Well, but it's 2020, so next time you'll have that will be 2121. I mean, this doesn't happen all the time.
I hadn't
You're not a
appreciated.
numbers person,
I
huh?
hadn't appreciated the significance of that. Oh.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Wow.
And then you know on your checks you have to write out 2020,
You have to write out 2020. Why?
because if you just write 20, someone could add 19 to it or something else.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
Well, you've got lots to think about in this
Wow,
special
hold
year.
it. I can make notes. Notes here. Note to self. 2020. Write checks also. Okay, good. All right.
Okay, well, good. Now that we've got
Thank
that
you.
straight.
This is the educational portion of the program.
So now for the best
The
part
silly portion of the program.
No, that even comes later. Don't worry. So you told us that we love talking about Furniture Share House.
Yes.
And I assume, do they know yet of how the year 2019 went?
Actually, the numbers for 2019 were higher than ever before.
In terms of donations and giving?
I don't
or
know
how
about
is
the
it?
donations.
Okay.
We haven't had a closeout. We haven't had a board meeting to close out the year. We had a board meeting in the beginning of December, so the year hadn't been closed. But we were headed towards a record number of families that received services. I think it was 435, some number like that, serving approximately, well, maybe a little less than 2,000 people.
Whoa.
Yeah, well,
That is amazing.
in the time since 2007, I think Furniture Share House has served something on the order of 16 or 17,000 people.
Whoa.
Directly. No government intervention, no bureaucracy, just Kate and, 40 or 50 volunteers who do this whole thing. They repair the furniture. It's a remarkable proposition. It just is.
Well, and so you learn how to repair furniture?
They have, she has two guys, one sort of who's been around for a while and is sort of phasing out, and a new fellow who used to work for the UN, who has more great power tools and stuff. I mean, he's really first rate. And he knows how to do things that you can't imagine can be done. I mean, really, with pieces of wood. Tables that are broken down, chairs that are broken down.
We need to have him on the show and tell us about it.
Well, he'd
that's
actually be a
awesome.
really fun guy because his stations for the UN generally were in Africa and Asia, and he has lots of interesting experiences of sort of clash of cultures, how to help without being a pain in the neck, that kind of thing. He's a very interesting person. He's very interesting. He lives on a farm up in North County.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, but you said that Furniture Share House has a problem.
Well, everybody knows what Furniture Share House is, and if you don't, let me tell you. It's, you get, members of the public give gently used furniture, and it's picked up by a truck driver, and certain items can be given, items that will fit in small apartments that people are moving into from homeless shelters and battered women's shelters and so on.
So they're given a place to be, but it's empty.
Nothing, yes.
So it really...
The county finds housing and then has nothing, gives them nothing.
Okay.
So they live on a floor or they live in boxes or whatever. Furniture Share House collects furniture gently used furniture from people who are willing to donate it, puts it into a warehouse, and people who are in need of furniture come through various services. There's Catholic services, Jewish services, all kinds of charitable organizations that are member agencies of Furniture Share House, and they bring people in, they make appointments, they bring people in, social worker comes in, and they go shopping. I mean, and they literally go shopping. It's 6,500 square feet of couches and desks and
Wow.
beds and
That must be confusing
chests
to
of
figure it all
drawers and
out.
pieces of artwork and glasses and silverware
my.
and all manner of things. No, it's not so confusing because they have volunteers that go around with them and their social worker, helping them to make choices for things that'll fit in spaces that they have and the best use. How many kids? You have 5, so you need more beds and more dressers than you do other things.
Right.
And how many kids you have? You have 2, okay, so you have a little more leeway, blah, blah, blah. And so they actually the idea is to replicate a shopping experience in Ethan Allen. I mean, really, it just is.
What a nice thing.
So it's important for the dignity of all the people who are doing this to do it in the right way and not make people feel badly that they need help or they're getting help. The idea is to make them feel like there is help to be had because people want to help, and there's good things to be had from people who had more than they knew what to do with, and that's what this is all about.
Oh.
Anyway, they have a brand new website, which has just gone live last week. It's still at the same address, which is furnituresharehouse.org, but it's a brand new website with new donation forms and new pickup forms and new information forms and new news updates and all kinds of cool.
Oh, I'm going to have to check that out.
Took 2 years to do this.
Whoa.
And they're asking for comments, on how easy it is for members of the public to use it. Is it easy? Is it difficult? Was there something that was confusing? There's a comment section because it's a new website. So it'd be good if people would actually go and look at it. Yes. Okay, furnituresharehouse.org. Yes, and directors, we got a preview of this thing, and I was supposed to go and use it like all the other directors, except that I couldn't figure out how to get into the thing, much less what to do with it. Maybe you're not the best person to be giving comments. I clearly was the wrong choice. Anyway, there was a brand new website, and I guess the hope is that people will go there and visit and use it, but also give comments on it, on how easy or difficult, or what was good about it, what was bad about it. But the other piece of the news that Kate wanted me to carry with me tonight was they're a little thin on furniture. So here's the way this goes. Because they've been so successful in giving it away. Yes. There are times of year when there's lots of furniture coming in and not a big bulge in the number of people in need. For example, springtime, houses are being sold, people move furniture out. So stuff comes in. So there are people who want pickups, and the warehouse tends to be more cluttered and fuller. But the number of people in need doesn't change because of the season, so it's relatively constant. All of a sudden you have a bulge in the amount of furniture. There are other times of year, and Christmas time is just turns out that way. Turns out to be a time when everybody's thinking giving, and so the people who are the volunteers at the warehouse are giving people like 7 things instead of the usual 5 things, or 12 things instead of the usual 10 things. So the stuff goes out the door, and it's great because it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, Christmas time. It's a great time of year, and it's a great time to be giving, but it does tend to produce a little bit of a lull and a sort of a low point in the amount of furniture. So the message that I was supposed to carry tonight is, please, if you're thinking of donating something, please go to the website, try it out, and if you're serious about it, then offer to make a donation, and you will be filling 2 needs. One is using the website to see how it works and so on and so on, and the other is actually making a donation when they are now short of furniture and they need it. So that's okay. Wonderful. Good. She reminds me. Good size, good condition, apartment sized. Okay. Practical. Okay. So a 20-foot couch in 3 pieces is not going to do it. These are starter apartments, so to speak. Right. Okay. So she also said, this is she being my wife, Catherine. She also works with the Junior League on the Sound, and said that the Golden Shoestring, which is right there on Larchmont Avenue near the Mexican restaurant named Tequila Sunrise. Great margaritas. All right. I can tell you're experienced. Yes. Also needs donations, and those donations are then go on the rack, and then they're sold, and the fundraising is used to support all kinds of Sound Shore community projects. They need good condition clothing, shoes, and household items. And they are jlwos.org. That's their website. Furniture Share House is furnituresharehouse.org. So do that, please. If you're in a giving mood, if you're recovering from Thanksgiving and Christmas and you'd like to give away a few pounds along with a few other items, here's a place to give.
Terrific.
2 places.
Well, thank you. Then you have a whole other fun thing, which is the
Yes,
the parade that's coming up.
yes. So,
What
my
are the
wife,
details?
she said just, first of all, hold this up for the camera. Do we have a camera that can see this? Can you zoom? Zoomez-vous? Like this? Hello? Are we zooming? Yes. No, not that camera. We zoom another camera. Yes.
Oh, good.
Hearts and Shamrocks.
Okay, February
Foundation
8th.
and Dinner Gala. Saturday, February 8th from 7 to 11. And I will tell you what you probably cannot see there. The Sound Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee and our legion, I love that word, of supporters. All right?
That's a nice word.
We'll hold a parade on Mamaroneck Avenue on March 22nd. That's the couple days after the actual St. Patrick's Day, and that's the St. Patrick's Day Parade. But there's a dinner on February 8th to support the organization, and the Master of Ceremonies of the dinner will be Westchester County Executive George Latimer.
Okay,
And it will be held at the Davenport Mansion, which is on Davenport Avenue, that little stretch
right.
past Trinity School, Davenport Avenue, 400 Davenport Avenue, 7 to 11 on February 8th. A table of 10 is $1,350. Single tickets are $150 a person. And you can purchase tickets at www.soundshoreparade.com or contact Michael Murphy at Murphy Brothers.
Isn't that nice?
Yes. But he's not one of the Murphy Brothers family.
Oh, okay, well.
He's a different
Confusing.
Murphy. He's a different Murphy. And they are located in Mamaroneck on Center Avenue at 914-424-3422. A lot of fours, a lot of twos, very confusing. But ask for Michael Murphy, and he's in charge of ticket sales. And the Grand Marshal of this parade, to be held on March 22nd, the 9th annual parade,
Wow.
is going to be none other than my wife, the same person who does all this Furniture Share House stuff, who is going to be the Grand Marshal, and
That's quite an honor.
I think she's quite flattered by it and honored by it, and actually privileged to be able to serve. But the big thing that has come out of this is that she has told our 2-year-old grandson that he's going to get to ride in a fire truck. As part of the parade, which of course
heaven.
has got him. He's friends with a Paw Patrol character named Marshall.
Of course.
Yes,
I'm
you,
very
you
familiar
must
with
know the
Marshall.
Paw Patrol
Yes,
and Marshall
absolutely.
and Chase and all the other
Yes.
Paw Patrol characters. Well, so he loves Marshall. I got him Marshall pajamas for Christmas and a big stuffed bear of Marshall. Marshall is the firefighter character in the Paw Patrol. We have rescue people. We have all manner of people, all manner of diversity. It's very interesting and good for the kids, and they love it.
And just let me say that that's a very nice age, and those people are very good. My 4-year-old grandson has gotten into Batman, and there's a lot of powing in the face and kicking.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not so good.
Well, but that's pretty.
So Paw Patrol
It's pretty natural.
really good.
But that's pretty natural. The boys are just that way. But 2 years old, it's okay. You don't have to be pounding on anybody, including your little sister. It's a bad idea. Anyway, fundraiser
Okay.
and gala dinner, and the fundraising is for supporting kids to go to college.
Oh, wonderful.
And I think over the years, there's been something on the order of, let's see, 5,000, let's see, since its inception, it's given over $30,000 in college scholarship funds
That's
to
in 9
deserving
years.
Sound Shore area high school graduates. This year is to raise at least $5,000 to award scholarships to 2 deserving students. In the past, it's been basically 1 deserving student.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. And the sash, the Grand Marshal honorary sash will be worn by my wife, Catherine, I'm hoping with other things, at the Hearts and Shamrocks dinner to be held on Saturday, February 8th, 7 p.m. at the Davenport Mansion in New Rochelle. And she says to me, well, hope that people will come. So there will be Irish dancers. There will be a bagpipe band.
Fun.
There will be corned beef. I'm going to guess there'll be a little bit of beer, possibly some alcohol. And there also will be cash raffle prizes.
Okay.
So, for example, first prize will be $2,500 if you buy raffles in the big pool. The $2,500 is a possibility for you. Second prize is $1,500. Third prize $1,000. At $20 a ticket, only 500 will be sold.
Okay.
So you have
bring some 20s.
Bring some 20s, buy some tickets, and make this contribution. You stand a chance of winning, and you definitely will be, no matter whether you win or lose personally. On that score, you will be supporting college kids, which is a great thing.
In our area.
In our area.
Oh, awesome.
So this is my wife, the Marshal.
You have completed your duties.
The Marshal, isn't that great?
Well,
I also
yes.
have raffle tickets here for anybody in the studio who'd like to buy some.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know what these are, but they're in here.
Okay.
And that's the news from the Sound Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade and the Grand Marshal.
Now we'll go to some of the local silliness. Here's a headline. Here's a new slogan for New York State. I leave New York.
Instead of I love New York?
Right.
And what would the picture be? Would it be a door closing behind somebody, just slamming it as they're leaving?
I guess. But there's, recently there was an analysis of the blue states that are losing population, significant population.
And seats in Congress, by the way.
Right. And New York, both in 2012 and in 2018, led the group. It's the net inflow of adjusted gross income. So adjusted gross income went down by, in billions, $3.8 billion in 2012 and $9.8 billion in 2018, which is astonishing.
Certainly higher than all the other states that are listed there.
Right.
Who are the other losers? California, that's no surprise, that is a loser. Connecticut, to a small degree. New Jersey, also a high-tax corrupt state. Illinois, the most corruptest state of all, got a whole wing in the state prison for governors. Ohio a little bit, Michigan a little bit, and Wisconsin a very little bit. The inflow group, who is the leader of the inflow group? Whoa, Florida. Big time.
Isn't Texas huge
and
too?
Yeah, and Texas and Arizona, which is pretty much what you'd expect.
Yeah. Well, it's no laughing matter.
I leave New York. I leave New York.
And you know what? Cuomo, instead of trying to deal with an important issue like that, I saw the latest headline, excuse me, just this Sunday, Cuomo has a change in mind for the state flag. He wants to redesign the state flag. I mean, is this like that important?
I don't know. What's he going to do?
Well, probably call a committee that never meets, from what I understand.
You mean like the commission on what's it?
Public ethics or something?
Yeah. Well, there's the commission about public salaries in New York, in Westchester, that didn't meet, and the county legislators helped themselves to a 55% raise, each of them. Who's our legislator here along the Sound Shore? What's her name? Catherine Parker. Yes. Ready for this? This was not a split along party lines.
Okay.
I think there are only three Republicans in the county legislature. There were 6 votes against doing this. So there were a whole bunch of Democrats who voted not to put their hands in the public till and take it out and shove it into their pockets. And Catherine Porker, who represents our district, right, did not vote against. She voted in favor. Now you could say, well, don't single her out. There were 9 other Democrats who voted to,
Right.
take money from the public till without going through the required steps, without saying in the preceding election that it was their intention to give themselves a big raise, right?
That
They did
was
this
the real
right
issue.
right after the election. And so I would think that if the voters are awake, and always a question,
Exactly.
always a question, they would be a little ticked off at that, right? And sort of being deceived. It's like fraud, right? I'm not telling you something that I intend to do. As soon as I get in, I'm going to put my hand in your pocket.
Excuse me, I'm
You
sorry.
okay? You need some water?
Well, I'll work on it. Well, it's just hard to believe. Well, don't you think? I mean, you're right, there was an election and they could have made it be
Should
part
have said
of
that.
it. Right. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah, this is our intention, and you get a chance to vote against us on that basis. Oh no, we don't want anybody voting against us. What could happen? Gee whiz.
Well, now we're to the sort of the heart of what we want to discuss, which is an important meeting with the Larchmont Village Board about the Central Project, February 25th.
Yeah. Well, there are 3 big projects floating around. One has been floating in front of the Larchmont Board since November of 18, working behind the scenes they were with the developer, and then they went public in, I don't know, April or May of 19, and then they actually went public, invited members of the public to know about what they were doing in September, and that's just gotten torn upside down. And you don't mind me saying so, the developer has shown himself to be untrustworthy character, and the Village Board of Larchmont is also a bunch of untrustworthy characters in the way they played this out. And there's an organization called Better Larchmont that got formed in the September timeframe, and the idea was to oppose this gigantic, massive project on Chatsworth Avenue and then back to Wen Avenue and huge parking lot and all kind of nonsense. And by the way, it has a new website, betterlarchmont.org, O-R-G,
Okay.
betterlarchmont.org. How much time we have?
5 minutes.
5 minutes, so we better hustle. So the project has gotten changed around, and Village Board has gotten horsed around on the proposed legislation that was going to allow this. It would be giant public amenities and all this great and glorious garbage that people were saying in September, October, and November. And now they want to cut the project in half. They still want the right to go higher than the zoning would allow. And they still, and here's their big problem, the Village of Larchmont Board still does not, this is now 5 months into the public discussion of this, doesn't get it. If you give these guys 5 stories, the next person will buy the building next door and ask for 5 stories
Right.
on the same basis. You can't do that. You need to have a plan. It's a whole, the shopping area on Pomeranian is a whole 3 blocks. Wow, boy, it'll take us years to do this. Do the damn plan. Get some people in here, get the public involved in this thing, and find out what people actually want. And I'm sick and tired of hearing from public officials who are just ducking. They just duck. Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean that. Don't talk about what the planners want. I don't give a damn what the planners want. The idea is with people who live here and pay the taxes to live here should have a say in what the planning is. Not you bring in a planner who says, oh, well, you need this and you need that. Thanks, I don't need this, guys. What we need is somebody who will help coordinate and bring together the ideas that make sense to the people who live here and that are helpful and even a little bit forward-looking. Oh, my God, a little bit forward-looking.
But not too much.
Well, you don't want to tear it up. So Better Larchmont is a big deal, and they've had a lot of effect.
Well, just let me, it's betterlarchmont.org
Yes.
is their website where
Yes.
they have a lot of wonderful information.
Yes, and stories, and they keep honest the people who won't be. People who give you these shaded stories of, shaded by the developer. He paid for advertising in a local newspaper, so what are they going to do? They give them the benefit. Second big project, an alarming development on the Boston Post Road where the BLD diner is. They want to put 65 units in there. 5 or 6 story building. This is in the town of Mamaroneck, not the village of Larchmont. And there is a hearing coming up, and it is tomorrow. And everybody is invited to go. They changed the location of the hearing from the town center over to the senior center at VFW Hall, which is just down the block a little bit.
That means a lot of people must know about it.
A lot of people do know about it, and I think there's a lot of alarm. I don't know whether the town people thought they were going to sneak this past.
Well, because
but
all those
65 units are going to go to Chatsworth School.
Right.
So
Which
you're going
is
to wind up
already-
redistricting Chatsworth
Yeah.
School, and people who thought they were in Chatsworth School are going to be in Central School. They're not going to be happy because their property values would change according to the schools, even though the
Right.
school's still great. It's going to be,
Right.
I signed up for Chatsworth when my child could
Now
ride a
my
bicycle, and
kids
now I
have
got to
to-
drive them.
Right, yeah.
So this is a whole big deal, and this is in front of the town board. And this is, I hope the town board, for the sake of Nancy Seligson, who's the supervisor, I hope the town board does a better job of handling themselves and the development project idea than the village board did. But don't be thinking about putting in a 65 plus units thing on the corner of Dean Place and just opposite the old vacuum place right there, right?
Right.
And the car wash and what else is there?
The Fuji Mountain.
Yeah, there's Fuji Mountain, and then there's the big then there's the big housing across the street. What's that? Where Penny and Nick live?
Oh, Pine Ridge.
Pine Ridge. So, wake up out there, because that's another big project. A third big project that everybody knows about is Hampshire Country Club, and I would just like to congratulate Tom Murphy and the village board of the village of Mamaroneck for standing fast. Because according to some article that you just had there, they are being sued by the developer, and that tells me that there's something good that they're
Doing something good.
They're doing something good. They're not bending over and crumpling like a piece of paper. Instead of being like the village board of Larchmont, which is like this, they're standing up to it like this. And that makes a difference. And I think that should inspire a lot of faith in people, upon the part of people who live in the village of Mamaroneck, that they're getting the benefit of good government.
Well, and it's also then an example to the other 2 entities here.
Yes.
that,
You mean you mean these guys?
oh my, these are such important issues, but I always leave here being really depressed.
Oh, no. No. Here, look, this is the operation of democracy. You need to be
Okay.
smiling. We get to
Okay.
say this stuff. In Russia, they'd shoot us before they let us say this. We'd be poisoned. You'd wake up dead one morning, right?
Oh dear, well
Right?
I guess.
So we get to say this stuff. In China, you can't say anything. So just
Well,
think about that.
until next month when we get to do the updates.
Okay.
So thank you very much to the talent that's really on the other side of the cameras. We really appreciate you.
And we'll see you.
Yeah, take care.
You're going to come to the dinner, right?
I am
on
coming to
February
the dinner,
8th.
absolutely.
All right. That's in 2 weeks.
Oh, I hadn't realized
2.5
that.
weeks. Yeah, you better get your green stuff organized.
I think I have some green beads. Does that
Shamrocks,
count?
shamrocks, and hearts and shamrocks. All right.
Take care. Thank you.
All right.